Hello, namaste, welcome, Sat Sri Akal, good evening, Suswagatam. Welcome to a groundbreaking live session that promises to redefine your perspective on the future of technology. Today, we embark on a journey eye to eye with AI, where we will unveil the mysteries and marvels of artificial intelligence alongside our esteemed speaker, Rishi Seth. So let us welcome our expert of the day, Rishi.
Thank you, Vipul.
Hi,
Thank you.
Rishi.
Thank you, Vipul. Thank you, everyone. Glad to be here. As we all know,
Yeah, well, yes, yes, please.
as we all know, everyone is talking about AI. So it's a very friendly manner, because the more you look at it, the more you try to understand it, the more familiar you become with it. It's easy to navigate. And I think that's where
Yeah,
the topic for today, that eye to eye with AI. I hope
yeah.
we
Thank
will
you.
be.
Thank you, in fact, for accepting our invitation. And thank you for accepting our invitation.
Sure, sure. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Yes, so audience, I am your host for the day, Vipul M. Mali, founder of Post Resume HR Consultancy. So we do provide recruitment services across India and Africa, especially for mid to senior level uh, management for IT, engineering, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, and textile industries. And additionally, we offer uh, assistant to job seekers through resume writing, LinkedIn profile optimization, and career coaching. We believe that sharing is caring, and purpose of this expert talk show is to bring in industry experts who will join us on live show to share their experience with all of us to help us with the career insights and new ideas. So do subscribe our YouTube channel Vipul the Wonderful to get more updates and regular live events notifications, and press the bell icon to get the regular live notification updates. And you can also follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow me, you can follow Rishi on LinkedIn, and you can see our updates. And yeah, don't forget to check Rishi's profile also, and you can follow us too on LinkedIn. So in a world of constantly shaped by technology advancement, it's imperative to stay ahead of the curve and understand the transformative power of AI. And we have with us for the second time Mr. Rishi Seth, who is Senior Director at Fractal Analytics. And before joining Fractal, Rishi was with TCS for uh, 14 years, more than a decade. That's amazing, Rishi. And he lived in multiple cities within India and different countries in Europe, and helping clients solve their challenges through technology. He is also alumni of IIM Ahmedabad and INSAID. In today's session, just about gaining insights, it's about igniting curiosity, speaking inspiration, and fostering meaningful discussions around the future of AI. And so, without further delay, let's embark on this journey eye to eye with AI, where the future unfolds before our very eyes. Thank you for joining us again, and let us deep dive into the realm of possibility together. And uh, so let me welcome once again Rishi, and let me ask you very first question of the day. So before we speak about AI, let me ask you that in our last session we spoke about health, wellness, and mental well-being. So how is the wellness journey going for you so far?
Thanks, Vipul, for the question. Uh, so yes, I think we spoke about that in a leadership role, how to take care of health, wellness, and mental well-being. And thankfully, it's going well for me. The intent is be continuous and consistent. Take care of your mental health, take care of your physical fitness, and it means just spending about 15 minutes to 45 minutes, or whatever you can do, every day, or at least 5 times a week, on your physical fitness. But equally important, do some meditation or something on to do with your mind. That ensures that through these ups and downs, one stays consistent, one is able to deal with the situation, and if you are yourself in a healthy mood, in a good mood, I think the people around you are also in a healthy and a good mood. So that's the spirit. So thank you, Vipul, for that question. I think it's all going well, and I hope it's the same for you.
Yeah, absolutely great. So you rightly said, what matters is, yeah, I think my voice is audible, right?
Yes, yes, your voice is on.
Yeah. So what matters is consistency, and you rightly said, consistency day by day, each day you can feel the uh, get the better results. So that's really true. So now coming to the topic of AI, we hear a lot about AI these days. Can you briefly explain that what AI is and why there is so much chatter, so much buzz about it?
Sure, Vipul. I'll try. I'll try to explain it in a simple manner. So, see, if any machine can do a complex task, right, in a similar manner with a similar kind of accuracy that historically only humans can do, then it is termed as artificial intelligence. So it's a broad definition, but what you need to think is that only humans can do few tasks historically, right? So now, if a machine is able to do those complex tasks with same amount of or a better amount of accuracy, then it is termed as artificial intelligence. And it's not that it happened over one day, right? It's a long history. It's almost 65 years of collective and compounding research which has gone behind this entire field of AI. In fact, now we call it artificial intelligence, but earlier the term itself was not there, right? So how it all started is, people tried that can there be certain tasks which can be automated, right? And for that, the initial intent was just to write rules. Okay, that if you want to move ahead, take 5 steps. If you want to take left, okay, then turn into 90 degrees and on the left side and move. So it was all rule based. I think even till end of the last century, most of it was rule based, and gradually, and from rules, there was a shift that okay, can the machine start learning themselves? So from rule based, it's moved towards machine learning. We started calling it, and what it meant was just feed a lot of information or inputs to the machine, right? And based on that inputs or information, can machine take a particular form of pattern? Can they help in identifying certain anomalies? Can they help in identifying certain patterns? And to give an example, let's say if you want to teach them how an elephant looks, so what will you do? You will just share with the machine lot of images of elephants, right? Hundreds, thousands, and millions. And once they start kind of looking at all these different images of elephants, they will kind of understand. Okay, elephant will have a trunk, eyes, and they themselves will understand that. Okay, what is an elephant? And after they have done this kind of a learning, when you will share a new picture, and if it looks like an elephant, they will be able to tell you yes, it's an elephant, or it is not an elephant. So I gave you a very simple example, but it was just data driven, that you feed so much of information that they themselves are able to identify pattern, and are able to take a call that if it's an elephant or not, right? And then gradually what has happened is we have moved a step ahead, no, and I call it the entire frequency. Even our organization called this, because the entire AI accuracy is dependent on three things. One is the data, second is the compute, and third is the technique. So the accuracy of what you are feeding and the inputs that you are getting is D into C into T, data into compute into technique. Now data has exponentially grown in past few years thanks to internet, right? Earlier there was limited amount of data, but now the entire internet is open to you, right? You have entire Wikipedia, so many websites. So data is kind of maximized. Second part, if you come to, is compute. Compute means just the CPUs and now the GPUs, right? We hear about Nvidia, the kind of supercomputers that they are creating, the chips that they are creating. So that is giving exponential compute. So you have data, and now you also have the compute power to process the data. And the third element is the T, the technique. So what technique you use to compute or to work on that data using the compute. No, that is where new foundational models, new LLMs, as we are seeing, are coming up, right? And this is the new, I would say, extension of AI which is happening, which is now termed as Gen AI, the generative AI.
Right.
Till now, what used to happen is it was process the information, and based on that, you are able to take identify patterns or take a call. But now, with so much of data, now let me ask one very simple question. I'll tell a line, and you tell me, okay, what can be the next word? Okay, if I say have a good, what will you say next?
Have a good tea.
Yeah, have a good tea, have a good day, right? So these are the kind of, what is the next term. If I say I love, and I'm talking to you, the next word might automatically think you.
You.
Yeah, but how we know that? We know that because we have heard these phrases so many times that we are automatically able to predict that after this statement, what will be the next word, or as they
So
call it, what will be the next token.
so
Now,
it's based on the past data and analytics. All
exactly.
predictions are happening. Yeah.
So basically, just assume that if a computer gets access to all the data on the internet, it can read through it, and we know that things like ChatGPT, they are trained on data which is equal to almost. I'm talking about ChatGPT 3.5, equal to almost 30 Wikipedias. If they have processed that much amount of data, they usually know that once you write a certain set of words, what will be the next word, right?
True.
So
True.
instead of just working on the past analysis, they are able to generate the next word, right? And then the word after that, the word after that. So that is the reason this entire new era of AI is being called as generative AI, because of past huge data which you can compute using these supercomputers and chips. Now you are able to generate the next possible, the probability of what is the next word, and that is how this entire Gen AI is coming into picture. So that is where the whole buzz, because it's not just about you are able to generate, but what OpenAI and ChatGPT did in November of 2022 is they made it accessible to everyone, to you, me, right? We all got access to Chat GPT. Before that, only, let's say, data scientists and people in that data scientist community, analytics organizations, they were doing AI models and all. But this made it accessible to people like you, me, even my friends who had nothing to do with IT industry. They were able to access Chat GPT in a very user friendly way. So it's like chatting on a WhatsApp.
True.
You need not know any coding. You need not know any AI algorithms. You can just ask a simple question like you are talking on a WhatsApp, and then based on the question you are asked, they predict, okay, in past, if someone asked the question, this kind of a question, then what are the different responses? And
True.
then based on that, they are just able to give you. So it made it so accessible to you, me, and everyone, that people felt, okay, this is some magic.
True.
And that's why this entire buzz around AI started.
Great, great. Well answered. You answered it very with very generic basic example that makes it very simple and very easy to understand. So, audience, this is our episode number 112, and you can see other episodes on YouTube, our channel, as I've said, on Vipul the Wonderful. And yes, make this session engaging. You can ask your questions. You can give your comment. You can show your presence, like Manish Gupta. Thank you for showing your presence. Just you can type in like hi, hello, and show us your presence. We would love to see you guys, and we would love to see your comments and responses and feedbacks and questions also, and we'll also cover them during the live session. So yeah, as you have explained about what AI is, so what is happening in corporate, and how are corporates approaching Gen AI these days. How you can explain this. Yeah.
Sure, sure, Vipul. So again, I'll try to explain it in two ways. One is what I am seeing, when I'm interacting with different leaders in corporates, and also what there are some market studies, recent ones. How are they looking at it, and they are talking about it. At the end, yeah, it's a blend of both. So if I just refer to some of the recent studies, right? There was a recent study, I think it was by uh, ENY, or one of the big fours. Basically, what they are saying is that, and it's a very interesting data, people. They are saying 85% of senior CXOs and leaders, they are very excited and they know that it will change the way that they do the business, right? And they know that something needs to be done. But at the same time, 80% of them don't know what to do. So they know that it is such a big technology that it will impact the way they do the business, the way they interact with their employees, the way they serve their clients. There's a 85% clarity on it, but still 80% of the total CXOs, they are not sure, okay, what should I do with it? What should be the POCs? Where to invest, where not to invest? So it's a very interesting data. It's like in a situation, you know that you have to do something, but you're not clear on what to do. So it's like everyone's life. We are in those stages where we know, okay, if we just sit, if we don't do anything, we will maybe move backward in the life, but we are not clear, okay, whether to go left or right. So that's the kind of research that's recent studies which are showing that. And what we are also seeing is that a lot of organizations are taking an approach to do some small POCs first, point of concept, or rather proof of concept, where they are trying to see, okay, what will work, what will not work. To give few examples, they are trying to do it within their own organizations first, right? When I say within the own organization, they are not trying to experiment too much with the client facing side, right? So simple things like a lot of use cases we have of internal knowledge management. No, many a times organizations face this challenge. There is so much data within the organization. Sometimes when you need to search and respond to certain queries, you are just reading through the documents, you are not able to easily locate, and even if you are able to locate, it takes time. Sometimes you have to go through your emails for long to find the right email. But imagine if all that information is within a system, and you can get the required, as an employee from my organization, I can get the required data by just asking a question. Maybe someone has a internal insurance policy, internal leave policy, if they want to ask about a. So instead of reading through all those documents, you can just chat and try to get answers. So this is internal process that organization have started working on. A lot of organization have maybe started screening the resume. So I think your industry, the entire, they are trying to see how can resumes be kind of created, job descriptions be created using GenAI. Let's say if you have to create a JD of a data scientist, no, you can ask GenAI to give you the initial cut. They will create a jitter, and then you can change it based on the flexibility that you
True,
have, right?
true.
So a lot of these internal small things organizations are trying to do, to start with. And from a end user perspective, it's still taking time, but there are some proof of concepts which are happening. Like, let's say if you are organization which is into customer calling, like cold calls, or even your customer support teams, many a times they get a lot of calls from people, right? And they have to respond to them. At the end of it, you would need to create a summary of what your conversation was. Let's say if your uh, your water filter is not working, so you will call that company and tell them that no, your water filter is not working. They'll try to kind of understand what's not working, and then they'll say, okay, we'll send someone, and they will try to ask question, okay, is have you changed a particular part, when was your last service, and all. And in this, there are opportunities to cross sell, upsell. Now imagine when you are having this conversation, you have an assistant with you who can tell you that, okay, this person has asked a particular question, And then you, as a customer support representative, instead of looking or searching your different SOPs, you are able to quickly type internal answer like you ask in a chat GPT, and chat GPT immediately respond. So we have seen that organizations are able to save about 20 to 30% of time by this simple use case. And not just that, during the interaction, so it will lead your towards your client satisfaction. But once it is done, no, you need to do an audit of these calls. And earlier, because obviously you can imagine, right, doing an audit of one calls might take too much of time. So if you have to do
True.
all of them, it will take immense amount of time. So you do
True.
based on sample selection, that if you have done 100 calls, maybe you will do an audit of 10 calls. But now with the help of GenAI, you can do for all 100, and that too in less, right? You can have those sentiment analysis built in, that during this interaction, was your customer representative polite, was the client angry, and then you are able to identify, if the client is angry, is there a chance of attrition. And if you think there is a chance of attrition, your chat GPT can recommend at that point itself that, see, this client is not happy, why not you give him some promotion or some discount so that this doesn't leave. So it also helps you in your business, right, at the end. So that these are the kind of cases we are seeing. But broadly, this was some example of use cases. But in a nutshell, as I said, that lot of CXOs are still trying to figure out how to use it. It's still in a POC stage. It is not rolled out to a large extent. But 2024 is an year where a lot of scaling will happen. A lot of POCs will try and convert into big scale projects. And one thing which I can assure you is that none of the big enterprise or organizations are kind of sitting idle, right? Everyone is doing something or the other. And most of them have created a central team, because GenAI again is a new way within AI. So they have created a central team who is running together with the innovation teams, all these POCs, initial POCs. And then I think after some time, this central team will become part of their every department, right? Because it has implications on your finance department, whether it's your legal department, whether it's your sales department, marketing department. So at the end, every department will need to embed GenAI into its functioning. Because people, whatever said and done, GenAI is not the end. It is a means to the end, right? It helps the business, and primarily four things which any business needs any support. First is efficiency. No, whatever they are doing, how can they do it in a less cost, in an efficient manner?
In fact, that's why my next question was that, what are the challenges that organizations are facing in using this AI and Gen AI, So, yeah,
Yeah. So as I was saying, that organization will have to use it for four things: whether it is to bring efficiencies, whether it is to improve experience of the end towards the end customer, whether to do some experimentation which will result into some innovation, and last one is to enable some tactical decision making. So they have to use it. But as you said, what are the challenges? And I can point out some of them based on my interaction with clients and whatever I've read. First is a challenge which is coming of the awareness and talent, right? Creating right awareness within the organization, outside the organization, in the client stakeholders, is still, I would say, not to the mark where it should be, right? Because obviously, at the topmost level, AI, Gen AI, they know it's a enabler, but it's still the profit and revenues what they drive. That's one. But outside your IT team and analytics team, how many people are really ready to experiment with GenAI? That awareness still needs time, and it's happening. Second is talent, right? It's a very new technology. No, no one can say that they have more than 1.5 year of GenAI experience,
true,
right? In a resume, you cannot mention I need someone with 5 years of GenAI. It's a very new technology.
true,
It's changing every day. We just saw that 1 week ago, they launched Devin, which is considered to be the first AI kind of a programmer. Though it's not true, there have been few before that also, but the way they marketed it is the first. And I think no, just recently we saw Nvidia coming up with their robotics. So a lot of things. So where will you get talent to do all this Gen AI stuff, right? Obviously, they need to attract new talent, but still there is, you cannot just create it overnight. So you have to invest on a lot on training. You have to invest a lot on learning. So talent, I think, is the first challenge which organizations are facing. Second is the overall return on investment part, right? That because the use cases are yet not scaling, though there is in theory it will bring efficiencies, it will improve customer experience, and maybe tomorrow it will even create new business models, but it will take time. But today you need to invest that money. So a lot of questions are being asked that, okay, why to invest this money, or should we wait, right? So the entire question around funding of Gen AI initiatives. Third, and I think a critical one over there is the privacy and the ethical issues, right? We recently saw whether it was deep fake videos, whether it is no every day you see how elections can be tempered, how easy it is to make a fake video where no maybe you and me are talking right now over there, but if someone records this session, then Vipul, you and me, we can be part of any fake video, right?
True,
That's what
true that.
AI and Gen AI are doing. So the entire thing about privacy, ethical issues, how to manage it, right? Because within an organization, it can become a big issue. We have seen recently that even organization like Samsung and all, they were not able to deal with it in the right manner. And then while you are doing it, you see what happened. You saw what happened with Google Gemini, right? They were able, the entire thing about it backfired, right? Their facial and image creation, they overcorrected, I would say, some of the inbuilt biases in terms of ethnicity, in terms of the bringing the right balance, and it backfired, right? There was an apology from the CEO himself. So because of all these things, and if these things happen, it can seriously have a damage on the reputation of the brand. That's why if you see organization like Apple is going a bit slow. You see Google talking about it, Meta talking about it, but Apple is still not talking about Gen AI too much,
True,
because
true.
Apple's brand is they it's very dear to them. I think they are okay to be slow, but they don't want to have any kind of a wrong impression on their brand, right? So I think these are three or four key challenges which organizations are currently facing. But yeah, with time, I think it will get better.
Very true, very true. You rightly pointed out. And so why do you think that ethical AI is important?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, right, that ethics is a fundamental part of intelligence, right? Now, take let me ask a question in a way that everything that's happening in machine world, robotics, what are they trying to do? They are fundamentally trying to be or work like a human. You have these robotics. They want to. People are having robotics arm, right? So that arm can function like a human. Uh, you are thinking of driverless cars, Tesla and all, right? So that those cars can be driven the way a human is able to do it. Now just expand it further. As we're talking about artificial intelligence, tell me that if tomorrow you are able to make a decision like a human, so whether you are able to walk like a human, write like a human, and if you are able to take a decision like a human, and all these things happen to a machine, will machine become a human?
No, that will never be, I think so.
Exactly. So whatever the way they do, they are trying to replicate human or the way human functions, but they will not be able to become a human. And that's where, if you want intelligence to be there, it needs to have that moral and ethical value of human. Then only you will be able to ensure that lot of decisions which this artificial intelligence will make in future, it has that ethical and moral values inbuilt within them, right? And that's why I said that what happened with Gemini is a failure of ethical AI. No, there are other examples in past, and maybe I can quote one that a lady, she was her name was Joy, and she was working on facial recognition technology, right? And she was trying to detect her face, but somehow the technology was not detecting her face, and she was not able to figure out why. If she brought in some other photograph, it was able to detect. If she brings another person, it was able to detect that other person. But this technology, facial recognition technology, was not able to detect her face. And then she tried different things, right? She tried to put a towel in front of her, or she tried to keep a mask in front of her. And she realized the moment she kept a mask in front of her, it recognized her face. And the reason was that the mask was a white mask. And this lady, Joy, she was a black woman. So now imagine why it happened. It happened because that facial recognition machine was trained on white people, white male people, most of it. So you see the input which was given to that facial recognition technology was faces and photographs of white male people. That's where, if it was any white male, it was easily able to detect. Even it was able to detect brown male and no, black males. But the moment it went to a dark skinned female, it was not able to detect. So that's a failure, right? That's why all this ethical and responsible AI becomes so important. Else, you will lose the entire purpose of why AI is being used, right? There are so many biases, and we have to ensure that how we can reduce it. So that's why ethical AI becomes so important for to be inbuilt. And the more lives and more people it is going to touch, it is very important that it becomes a part of the core DNA of the entire AI tree.
Well said, well explained, and you rightly said, no one can replace the human being at the end of the day. So we have seen in so many Hollywood movies and Bollywood movies that machines can do anything, but at the end of the day, it's the human who superpower everything. So that's rightly said. So audience, requesting again, you can check Rishi's profile. You can connect with him. You can DM him if you have any query after this session as well. And yeah, follow us to get the regular updates on our activities. You can definitely follow both of us, and we would be happy to help you whenever required. So moving on to the next question, uh, what about jobs? We hear a lot about, as we were discussing about humans and machines and all this. So we hear a lot about possible impact on job by because of AI. So what is your view on the same?
Yeah, I think the jury is yet to be out on this one. But one thing is for sure that uh, job market will get impacted. It's a matter of time. Why I say so? Because as I we started in the earlier, right, the kind of skills which were relevant few years back are still relevant, but their relevance is coming down and down. As I said, right, Devin was claimed to be the first programmer, which was launched just about a week ago. Many organizations are talking about no code, low code, right? Because just imagine, right, till now, while you are interacting with machines, and this specific part is focused on the IT, but when you are talking and interacting with machines, you need to know a language, whether it is Python, R, C++, COBOL, right? That's how you can interact with a machine. But thanks to GenAI, you just need to know English, right? If you are able to ensure and give the right communication in terms of English as a language, your machine will ultimately be able to do a lot of tasks which today we need a lot of programming for. So I'm not saying that it will 100% take away the programming jobs, no, but it is for sure that it will bring in efficiency. Now, whether that efficiency is 15%, 20%, 30%, that we will know in an year's time. But one thing is for sure, that that efficiency will start coming. So to give an example, if one person needs to spend 8 hours to write a piece of code, with this GenAI technology coming in, he or she might be able to do same thing in 5 hours, right? And then work on next stuff. But similarly, if you look at it cumulative, if there are 10 people required to write that piece of code, then it can be done by 7 people. So there are two things. Then these 10 people can do more work. So one option is that lot more work gets created, and that's also a possibility, because if so much data is getting captured from everywhere, right? Tomorrow we are talking about not just about AI. You're talking about IoT, right? Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? It means you are just capturing data from different sensors all over. So imagine you and me are talking, but maybe tomorrow there will be a need that someone will be capturing the data, the conversation that we are having, will convert it into a summary, and so there will be extra work also, which if you, extra work also which will start happening. So the need of more data to be processed will go high, while the efficiency is getting better and better. So that's all. What you need to ensure is, it's not just about coding language. You need to learn more skills if you want to be relevant. So people who will use this AI will start replacing the people who will not use AI, right? Because the people who will use AI will become more efficient, and gradually they will that impact will start coming out. So learn AI. Second step is ensure that you become very strong in the domain that you are. So if you're working with a banking organization, understand how a bank works, right? You need to be very thorough in that banking. And within banking, if you are part of trade finance, if you're part of asset management, if you are part of retail banking, you need to be very strong in your domain, not just the technical part of it. If you are working in an insurance industry, if you're working in a healthcare industry, you need to be very strong in those particular industries, because just coding technical knowledge will not help you survive, right? So that's the overall IT thing, how it will happen. But at the same time, a lot of jobs in the area of healthcare, nursing jobs and all will increase, because AI will not be able to replace the care, which and the healthcare which is there, and which people provide. So nature of jobs will change that
True,
way.
true. So you were right. It's all about, there will be always a balance. When computer came before 2 3 decades back, then we were all in fear of losing that computer. आ गए तो अभी what will happen? Everybody will lose job and computer will do all tasks. But now we can see that computers came, but because of computers, there are many other opportunities have also opened up. Hardware engineers and many other opportunities. So likewise you rightly said कि अगर AI आएगा तो कुछ जॉब में काम कम होगा, but other on the other side और भी कुछ other avenues, other job profiles we can see. We in the future we can also see many other designations like AI engineers or AI programmers or AI experts, and lot many other designations, other fields and other curriculums as well. AI like MBA in AI ऐसा भी आ सकता है, you never know. Engineering in AI. So
Absolutely.
it will be all, there will be always a balance. तो not to fear. आपको
Yeah,
बस टाइम के साथ.
as long as you are open to learn, I think
True.
there's no need to be fear.
That's the
You need to
takeaway.
just ensure you learn, you are able to reinvent, and it's such a new field, right? As I said, just 1.5 year old field, and lot of it's changing every day. So if you are open to know what's happening, you are open to learn, I think you are in the right spot.
Yeah, so that's a takeaway, a message for everyone, that you should keep sharpening your pencil and you should keep learning new things and keep forgetting old things. So that's the moral of the story. Great, great. So what should students learn in the current scenario? As I've said, अभी तो कोई specialization courses ऐसा कुछ नहीं है related to AI. But what is your advice to students, how they can learn in this current scenario?
Yeah, no, in fact, I was just thinking other day that my daughter, though she's just about 8 years old now, but what should she she focus on maybe 15 years down the line when she will be a student and about to enter a corporate or maybe start her own business. Uh, so I think that it's very difficult to predict that. But the basic skills, I think, so whatever you're doing, right, whether you're doing engineering, art, science, continue to do that. But as I said, that ensure that you are learning some domain, right? Whether it is how a bank works, how an insurance company works, how an IT company works, how a manufacturing company works. No, try to have a very strong knowledge of that domain, because AI is an enabler, as I said, but it's an enabler for some end business. So you need to understand how that business works. So together with technical things, learn and have very deep knowledge on a business element also. That's one. And then there are few skills which will never go away if you're good at it, right? Simple things, focus on building your communication. And though all this seems to be very simple, but I think English and your communication skills will become the new coding language, right? Because if you're talking to a computer in a normal English, or in now even in local languages, that's possible. That is how coding will happen. So you need to be very strong in communication. In future, if you want to, you need to be good at selling. When I say selling, it's not just about selling a product or service. It's also about how you are able to sell what is your idea. How you we all see Shark Tank these days. It's all about pitching, right? You need to be pretty strong to understand, okay, how you communicate, how you pitch your idea. So that's a core skill. Problem solving, invest more time on learning the skills of design thinking, problem solving, because at the end, lot of things technology will be able to do, but they are still not good at planning. GenAI is still very bad at trying to plan things. If you give me a plan of next 2 years, they struggle. Um so that's where problem solving, communication, design thinking, ensuring that you have one domain which you focus on, learn these things, and I think other technologies will come and go, they will get better. But if you have these foundations taken care of, I'm sure you will succeed as a student.
Very, very well said. And yeah, Niba Jai is also commenting and agreeing to what we are discussing. I believe it's just upgrading yourself with the new technology and becoming more relevant with the time. So, yeah, thank you, Niba, for the appreciation and adding your thoughts. And yeah, thanks for your comment. And yes, so audience, one last call. If you have any questions, then most welcome. We would love to have your questions. You like Niba, you can also add your feedback, remarks. We would love to have them, and you can follow us. You can check our profile, and we would love to connect with you guys. We would love to help you, so you can check Rishi's profile and you can check my profile. You can follow us. We would love to have you in our network. So, moving on to the next question: how can India benefit from this AI revolution?
Yeah. So for India, I think India is in a special position. When I say special position, on one hand, we know that because we have a lot of IT talent, right? And we were just discussing that how this entire IT talent people will have to kind of focus on reskilling if we want to be relevant. So that is one thing which everyone needs to focus and start doing within their organization. The first step is create awareness, right? Awareness within the organization that see there's something called AI, Gen AI. Please learn about it. Please understand about it within the organization. And when I say within the organization, it means organization as a company, but even your community, right? Within school, colleges, and all, people should start feeling this need and urge to understand about AI. Because once they are able to do it, then obviously the next steps will happen. They'll start learning it, and the workforce will itself become enabled. Uh, Second, while this is going to change a lot of our skill profile, there is a lot of potential in India to benefit out of AI revolution. Because India is an organization, as a country, is very data rich, right? And it's not just data rich, the diversity of data is huge because we have so many different languages, and there is no one outside India as of today who's focusing on those regional elements of India, right? uh, Global organizations, obviously, they are focusing on global problems, But as India, we have this opportunity that how we can tap into these regional data which is getting generated every day as more and more people are using mobile, as more and more people are putting out content, creating content in multiple languages. So there are few opportunities. I'll just share examples. Let's say in India today, from a farming perspective, it is still done, the water fertilizers are still used at a per acre level, right? So you decide that in one particular acre how much water, how much fertilizers are you, and then you kind of spread it with the help of AI, Gen AI, and the drones, or no, the IoT. If this gets combined, you will be able to identify not at an acre level, but every individual plant level, right? That within an acre, this is a plant which needs more water, more fertilizer. So you are spreading it in that particular area. You will be able to have that Gen AI images, no, the images captured via drones and then processed using Gen AI, which will be able to spot the patterns and able to predict, okay, where how much water is required. And so just imagine, some studies show that it will be able to save about 66% of water just in irrigation, and almost equal amount of fertilizers. That's one problem which can be solved using AI, Gen AI, IoT. Other thing is a lot of opportunities, new opportunities. You remember when the initial KPOs days started, a lot of organization used to send data to India to process, right, legal, just to write into text, and then label them rightly. Now there is a lot of this data in voice, right, language data. They need people who understand these local language, whether it is Marathi, Bengali, Gujarati, because a lot of this conversation is out there in YouTube, in TikTok, in Instagram. But what does that mean? What is the emotion behind all this content? You need Indians only to decode it. So there is an organization called Karya.ai which is paying poor families, many people who live below the poverty line, just to listen to this data in their local language and translate it or give an emotion to it. That is the person happy, is the person angry. So you listen to something in Gujarati, that mane maja ave che. So, and then the person who understands Gujarati will be able to say, okay, it means a happy statement. Uh, so lot of this, and then they are paying them good. I think what I understand, they are paying them 10 times the basic mandatory pays, which is usually given to farm laborers. So that is also increasing their way of living. And then we know these big organizations like Microsoft, they have this Jugalbandi project, or no, Jugalbandi Bhashini, where they are trying to use LLMs, the large language models, to generate responses to a lot of queries which are coming from farmers, not just farmers, but people who are talking or interacting in local languages. And government is using this. So if I just want to know that how much pension I am eligible as a farmer, so you and me can talk and we can use our app. We can ask yes, no, the usual app, right? But then there are many people who don't have those even smartphones. They are still using the very basic phones. So using their voice through these phones, this data, this language can be processed through this project of Bhashini from Microsoft, and then they are able to predict that, okay, what's the pension, how much tax they need to pay, how much rebate are they eligible for. So in local languages there is huge potential. So I think as India as a country is very sweetly positioned. If we take care of the talent requirements, if we are able to create and spread that awareness that there is a change which is coming, no, please, as you rightly said, you need to sharpen your pencils to deal with that thing. And on other hand, lot of these new opportunities which can ensure that no, a lot of people who are, I would say, bottom of the pyramid will be able to get opportunity and get access to intelligence. Because see, one thing which Gen AI is doing is, like internet, what it did, it gave information on your fingertips. You agree? Before internet, people, for information, they used to go to library, they used to read so much of data. But the moment internet came, you got information on your
True.
fingertips. What Gen AI is doing is it is giving intelligence on your fingertips, because you are able to just have open conversation with ChatGPT. They will create the summary, they will predict what to do, how to do, and that's how everyone will have intelligence
So
on the
it's not about
fingertips.
only data, it's an interactive data, you're getting uh, interactive data,
Exactly.
filtered data, segregated data, and yeah, a content, you can say, in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
You're getting intelligence. You're getting
True,
intelligence.
true, 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 very true. So well answered. So there is a huge scope for India. And now one of the last question from me before we close this session. So that is, what about AGI and how close we are, to AGI?
Yeah, so AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence, I think for people purpose. So uh, the stage that we are currently, many people call it, it's artificial narrow intelligence. So to give an example, artificial general intelligence is considered to be a stage where machines will be as intelligent as an average human, right? So that is where uh, once we reach that stage, it is, people also call it singularity, that okay, once machines are as intelligent as humans, from there the only way is upward, right? Then they will become better than humans, and the once they become better than human, no one knows what will happen. So what people are saying is, and Elon Musk says that OpenAI has already achieved AGI. That's what Elon Musk is saying, and that's why 6 months ago he was trying to put a pause on all the GenAI initiatives, because at least he claimed, or there are other people who used to claim that if this no one stops this, it might grow at an pace where nobody will be able to manage. Once it reaches AGI. So what I understand is we are still far from AGI, and the reason I'll tell you what is my understanding. LLM means language, and intelligence is not just language; it is beyond it. Though LLMs, large language models, are good at a lot of things, GenAI is good at a lot of things, but there are three things which is it is still not good at. Number one, mathematics. uh, if you give them a medium complexity problem to solve, many a times they'll not be able to do it. Second, as I mentioned earlier, they are even not good at planning or strategizing, right? They can read books and tell you what are the steps, but they cannot do the planning part. And third, they are also not good at physics, right? That how the real world works. There are a lot of examples that these are the three things which they are not still good at. Till you are able to be very good at these three things, you will not be close to AGI. Point number one. It doesn't mean that no one is working on it. We know, and it's a stated objective of OpenAI that they are working towards reaching AGI. And a lot of people feel that a few months ago, we all saw what happened at OpenAI, right? Their CEO was removed and then he was brought back with the help of Microsoft. So it was that, okay, they removed him because he was working very fast to achieve AGI, and in this entire process they were not taking care of the right security, privacy, ethical issues. So that's why it all happened. Nobody knows why it's happened, but these are the rumors, I'll say. But one thing which has come out is they are running a project called Project Q Star, and one of the objectives of Q Star is, which again is a leak, it's nowhere defined. So one of the objectives of Project Q Star is how to be good at planning and strategizing. So that is one of the three things which are still missing. Now, math problem we all have seen are getting better every week, every month. So that is one thing GenAI is getting better at. Second thing, now the project Q Star is saying that they are becoming better in planning, and when ChatGPT 5 will be launched, they will have these two qualities. Then, if these two things are taken care of, the third thing which will possibly be still left is understanding how the real world works, the physics of it. So that will be the only open point in terms of potentially reaching AGI. So it's anyone guess, but I think maybe a decade. I'll still be not say that it is there in 2 3 years, but maybe a decade. That's what my view is based on a lot of news or a lot of information that I have heard and seen. But yeah, what we have also seen is that in past few months, whatever things that people have predicted, it has happened in half the time of that. So if someone said no that solving maths problem will take still 2 3 years, we have seen it has started happening in 1 year. So you never know. Even AGI might be faster.
So well explained, and with that note, we conclude the session. It was amazing session. We got to know so many things from you, Rishi. Thanks for your valuable insights. And before we leave you, your final words, your concluding notes, your final message to our audience, uh, please.
Thanks. No, it was also a pleasure for me to be part of this session. And my final words is, something which I also shared during the interaction. AI. It's all about looking at AI in the eyes, understand what it is, right, how it works, understand how will it impact you. No, we cannot be an ostrich who digs a hole in the sand thinking that everything out will be fine, right? We know it's coming. All big organizations are talking about it. It is going to impact us, it is going to impact the next generation. So the best way to deal with it is to embrace it, right? Understand what's happening, understand how it can impact your field. At the same time, continue to learn, continue to understand the domain, and focus and build your basic skills again around communication, sales, problem solving. I think then I hope if AGI comes, there will be enough time for all of you and me to enjoy life. A lot of the work part will be done by AI and AGI, and all of us will be able to a lot of problems around climate change, a lot of problems around maybe the efficiency in agriculture. If all that is solved, we will have a lot of time to enjoy. So I'm an optimist that way. So I think those are my final words with you.
And that's what we can be. Being optimistic is the only positive solution. Be ready for the change, adapt it, grace the change, and be ready for it. Sharpen your skills, and be ready to enjoy the change. So well said. That was a great concluding notes. And audience, once again showing you the LinkedIn ID of Rishi. You can connect with him. I'll also put his LinkedIn ID in the chat box, so you can straight away check that and connect with him. And yes, Rishi, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and love to have you for the second time, and would love to have you again on our expert talk show with some another interesting topic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and wishing everyone a very happy Holi in
Yeah,
coming days.
yeah. Wishing everyone a happy Holi and season of festivals. And thank you so much, Rishi. Stay blessed. Keep smiling. Thank you once
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah,
Cheers, Vipul.
thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
all.
Bye bye. Yeah, yeah. Yes, so audience, thank you for joining us on this 112th Expert Talk Show. See you again tomorrow. We will have one another interesting session tomorrow with Sahil Kumar Nagpal, who will be speaking on uh, the topic of tomorrow is very interesting, mind management the Indian way. So see you tomorrow 7 p.m. again. And audience, this session was powered by Post Resume. We are providing, as I've said in the beginning, we are providing mid to senior level talent acquisition services. So do check more, visit our website, and do check more and connect with us if you're looking for any help or any guidance. So with that note, we say goodbye for today and see you tomorrow 7 p.m. Thank you once again.